Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to have a look at this indical equation. Now, this is a half, then times 6 raised to 2x minus 6 raised to x plus 1 equals to negative 18. Remember, a dot in mathematics represents multiplication. And therefore, let us have a look at the solution. Let us have a look at the solution. This is a half times 6. So I want to break this, that is this power using the laws of indices. This can be 6 raised to x. Then I close the bracket raised to 2. Remember the law of indices. This law of indices, that is a raised to m, then close the bracket raised to n, is just the same as a raised to mn. So if you can see, this is 6 raised to x, then close the bracket raised to 2. I have not changed anything. This one is just the same as this one. I have only applied the law of indices to write it in another way. Then minus 6, I want to break this power. And since there is a plus here, then I will have 6 raised to x, this x. Then since there is a plus, I will have times 6 raised to 1. That is 6 raised to x times 6 raised to 1 equals to negative 18. Now, from there, I can let this one to be maybe y. I can let 6 raised to x to be y. That is, let 6 raised to x, that is by. And therefore from there, I substitute 6 raised to x with y, so that we can have a half, then times, that is y, because instead of this I will have y, then raised to 2, then minus, instead of this I will have y, and y times 6, because 6 raised to 1 is 6. 6 times y, it will be 6y. Therefore, this is 6y equals to negative 18. Now from there, I can multiply by 2 throughout so that I can remove this 2 that is in the denominator. For if I multiply by 2 on both sides, then I will have y squared minus 12y, then equals to negative 36. Now, from there, I want to bring this negative to this other side so that I form a quadratic equation. Therefore, I will have, that is y raised to 2 minus 12y, then plus 36 equals to 0. This is a quadratic equation. I can solve it using factorization method by saying the sum is negative 12, this that is negative 12, and the product is 36. Now, with two numbers, when you multiply, you get 36, and when you add them, you get negative 12. The two numbers can be negative 6 and negative 6. Because if you add negative 6 and negative 6, you will get negative 12. And if you multiply them, you get positive 36. Now, from there, we shall have, that is y squared minus 6y, then minus 6y, then plus 36. So I have y squared, then instead of negative 12y, I will have negative 6y minus 6y, then I will have positive 36 equals to 0. Then from there, if I group these two and also group these two, then I factor the common term here and also the common term here, then I will have that is the common term here is y, into y minus 6. Then the common term here is negative 6 into y minus 6 equals to 0. Now, this is what I will have. This is y into y minus 6, close the bracket, minus 6 into y minus 6 equals to 0. Now, this one is like y minus 6. This y minus 6. And then this one and this one is common, and therefore I will take 1, that is y minus 6 equals to 0. That means y minus 6 is either 0 or y minus 6 is either 0. So that means our y minus 6 is 0, is equals to 0. And therefore, that means the value of y is positive 6. The value of y is positive 6. Because if you see y minus 6 and y minus 6, that means this is a quadratic equation where we have a repeated root. We have a repeated root. Now, since the value of y is 6, but we had let that is 6 raised to x to be y. Therefore, we shall have 6 raised to x equals to, instead of y, we shall have 6. Now, from this point, we can say that we have 6 raised to x equals to 6 raised to 1. 6 raised to 1 is just the same as 6. And therefore, if the bases are the same, then we equate the powers. And therefore, the value of x is 1. And that is the answer of this indical equation. That is the answer of this indical equation.